Hello, welcome to another episode of Black Men's Digest TV with your host, James Smith. Today we have a great topic to talk to you about today. We're going to discuss stepping outside of your comfort zone. This is a major issue in a man's life when he has to decide if he's going to stay in his safe area or take a step out on faith and do something that he's never done before. So our guest today is going to be DJ Frogie. He is a DJ out of Miami. He's going to tell us about his experiences and how he went from stepping outside of his comfort zone, his hometown, to where he is today. So after these short messages, we'll be back with our Black Men's Digest Spotlight on a Good Brother. And then we'll sit down and talk with DJ Frogie. Be right back. Welcome back, brothers. Now we're going to talk about our segment that I spoke about earlier, is the idea of stepping outside of your comfort zone. Our guest today is DJ Frogie. He's a known DJ throughout the area, and he's done a lot to step outside of his comfort zone to make his dreams come true. So let's give a big round of applause for the man himself, DJ Frogie. What's going on, good brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's happening with you, brother? Everything's good on this end.
All right, good. So as we talked about or spoke about earlier, we want to talk about the idea of stepping outside of your comfort zone. So give us a little bit of information about yourself.
Well, I was born in Memphis, Tennessee, born and raised in Memphis. Went to college at Tennessee State, Nashville, go Big Blue. And then after leaving Tennessee State, I went to Atlanta. I stayed in Atlanta. I was married there, stayed in Atlanta for about 11 years. Then moved down here to Miami where I am right now. So I've been DJing 27 years now. So I started DJing when I was 15 years old, something that I love to do, always been a passion of mine. And I do a few other things too. I also work with a nonprofit, working with inner city kids, creating diversion programs, trying to keep them out of trouble, keep them out of the streets. I wear a few hats, but I enjoy everything that I do.
Good. So let's talk about your first step or stage that you took to progress to where you are now. As far as making that decision to go from Memphis to Nashville, I know it's only like, a 3-hour drive, but to a lot of people, that's a whole world of difference. What made you decide to step out and just venture from going from Memphis to Nashville?
It was, I think I was like every other high schooler that I said that I couldn't wait to get out of my parents' house because I didn't like the rules, and I was, it's like, okay, well, you got to be home at a certain time, you got this, you got that, and I was like, okay, I want to experience what it's like to be grown. And, a lot of my friends, they may have just gotten apartments in Memphis or, moved in with their cousin or somebody else, but I was like, man, I want that full experience. And plus, I marched in the band in high school, and I desperately wanted to march with the aristocratic bands at Tennessee State. So even though it was a little bit of a culture shock, leaving Memphis and going to Nashville, having to, take care of myself and wake myself up and deal with everything on my own, it was well worth it for the friendships that I made and for all the new connections and stuff that I was able to make.
Well, good. So when you made that decision to go from Memphis to Nashville to go to college and take that journey, what were some of the comments or some of the people that you were close to? How did they take that with you deciding to move out?
Anytime you make like a big step, and I don't even consider that my biggest step, but even anytime you make a big step, people that are close to you you're gonna have some people congratulating you because they're glad to see you moving on and doing some other stuff. But then you're gonna have some other people that are that are gonna say, man, why don't you stay here? And I don't blame them for that. I mean, a lot of it is them knowing that they're gonna miss you. People that lets you know that your presence was appreciated. But so you had some you had some good and bad. You had some on both sides of the coin. You had some people that wanted me to stay in Memphis and was like, well, why can't you just go to Memphis State? What's called University of Memphis now. But why can't you just go there? Or why can't you go to Lemoyne? Why can't you just stay here and go to school? Why do you have to go all the way up to Nashville? Which like you said earlier, Nashville is only 3 hours away, but it's forever away to somebody who's never left Memphis.
Gotcha. So now that you made that transition from Memphis to Nashville, what was, when you first landed on the campus of Tennessee State, what was going through your mind at that time?
Oh man, well, I'd already been kind of prepared for it because I had a few friends that graduated before me that went to Tennessee State. So they told me about all the fun you were gonna have and all the women, and so I was really ready for that lifestyle. And when I got up there, I mean, like I said, it was a little bit of a shock. First of all, you're a little homesick. Anytime you're born and raised around a group of people, my mom, dad, brother, sister, I spent the last 18 years of my life around these people. The only 18 years of my life have been spent around these people. So now that I move up here and I'm being thrown into a room to a room with somebody who I never met before. And my roommate ended up being a cool cat, guy named Brian from St. Louis. But it's kind of a culture shock. You have to, deal and adjust to other people's habits. You have to deal and adjust to other people's schedules, whether it's the eating schedule at the calf. It's not like at your home where, at 1 o'clock in the morning, you can get up and go fix yourself anything you want to eat. If the calf closes at a certain time, that's what time the cafeteria closes. So you have to adjust your life according to that. Your roommate needs some alone time because he's got a girlfriend coming up at 8 o'clock tonight and they're going to be in there for a while. Guess what? You need to find somewhere to go for a few hours. So, it takes some adjusting, but I really didn't. I didn't bat an eye at it. I didn't have a problem with anything because I was just excited about a new adventure, trying something new. Even if there's a chance that I might fail, at least I gave it a go.
Gotcha. So now let's take it to, now you're at Tennessee State, you're moving up, you're going from freshman, sophomore. So now you're getting into that comfortability standpoint as far as everything is now a new normal to you. So you're about to, leave. So what made you decide, okay, I'm done with this stage of my life. Now it's time for me to go to the next stage after TSU?
Well, I think, I really think what it was, I'm one of those people that I kind of, my ex-wife would tell you that I bore easily. And that could be kind of true. But I think I'm more adventurous. So the way that I look at it is, like, I think that my time in Nashville had been served. I mean, I DJ'd, at every club, for every organization, every Greek letter organization. I DJ'd parties for celebrities. I met a lot of people, but I think I had reached that ceiling. I think I had gotten to the highest level that I could reach in Nashville, and I wanted to really, try my hand somewhere else. And I visited Atlanta. I had a cousin that stayed in Atlanta, so I would go down there and visit. And like, as everybody knows, I mean, even to this day, Atlanta's like, it's the Black Hollywood, it's the Black Mecca. It's where you see successful Black college graduates along with business people. It's where everything comes together. So, I mean, I needed to go and experience some of that for myself. So, I packed my bags and took my girlfriend with me, who later became my wife, and we moved to the ATL, baby, in '99, and I had a great time there. I loved it.
Gotcha. So let's back up a minute. Let's get to your DJing. How did you get into DJing?
Well, I started DJing, like I said before, I started DJing when I was 15 years old. A friend of mine that lived up the street from me, we also went to school together. He was 2 years older than me. He was a DJ, so like in high school, like he would rock the parties. So he would rock like local parties, block parties, stuff like that. But then he started getting like gigs to DJ like school parties, like parties up at the school. So I would go to his house and practice with him and kind of, just mess around. And then the one thing that really made me say, okay, I want to dedicate myself to it. Because, I mean, as a kid, you pick up and drop passions like it's nothing. So it's like, okay, I like this one week and I don't like the next week. But I've always been a big hip-hop fan. And I went to a Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince concert. And I saw Jazzy Jeff up there doing his thing. When I saw that, that cemented that I wanted to become a DJ. And I was like, okay, this is what I want to do for my career. This is how I want to make my money. This is what I want. And I just dedicated myself to it since then. So I would sit in my room and practice while everybody else was out, kicking it, having fun or whatever. I would be in my bedroom with my 2 raggedy turntables because, of course, you always start off, you never start off with your best equipment. You understand? You learn on some of the worst equipment because you can't afford the best yet. So I had raggedy turntables that were kind of put together, just kind of pieced together, but I was able to get a sound going and I was able to get in there and practice, and that's what where it really sparked. And then from there, when I went to college at Tennessee State, I would DJ in the dorm rooms, and we would have like hall parties. Like we would have everybody in the on my floor. I stayed on the 5th floor. And so we would have these hall parties. So I would set my speakers out in the hall, and we would invite like girls over from Wilson Hall or whatever, and we would just rock out. And so, that's kind of how I got my start. Then I started doing house parties, blah, blah, blah. Then, made my way into clubs, doing a lot of fraternity parties, sorority parties, whatnot. And just kind of built, it just kind of built up organically. My name kind of built a reputation for itself. So, that's how I got into it, and that's how I've stayed into it, man. I've enjoyed it, the ups and the downs. I mean, it's been way more ups and downs. So, I always look at it and say that I picked a great career, or a great career picked me.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we're going to continue this conversation, and after the break, we're going to talk about his transition into where he is now and talk about some of the things that he's done since he's been out. So after these brief messages, we'll be back more with DJ Frogie. And we're back. So we've talked a little bit with DJ Frogie about what it took for him to move from the city of Memphis to Nashville to go to college, where he kind of honed his passion, and then he got to the point to where he was now back in a comfort zone. And now he's making that transition from Tennessee to Georgia. And now I'm going to pick up and talk more about what's happened since that point. So you've made the move to Atlanta. So what happens in Atlanta? What's going on with you in Atlanta?
Well, in Atlanta, I'll say this. In Atlanta, I think I settled a little bit into normal guy life. And when I say that, I got married, got a regular 9 to 5. That was my primary income. So, and I bought a house, the whole white picket fence thing. And I was still DJing. So I was still, DJing, spinning parties, mainly, no clubs really. But I was doing parties and I was doing mixtapes. But I still had a regular 9 to 5 that was paying the bills, And, when you're married, you do have to, kind of spend more time not thinking about yourself or not doing, you got to kind of back away from some of your selfishness when you're married. So I was spending more time with the wife and less time, with traveling, or less time pursuing a lot of DJing gigs. So I kind of soaked into another comfort zone when I got to Atlanta, which, it's very easy to do. It's very easy to do. So, but yeah, I ended up having to break out of that. I was in Atlanta I was there for 11 years, so I was there for a good stint of time. Mm-hmm. But in that time, I opened and closed a record store. Like I said, I got married and got divorced. I bought and sold a house. Moved a couple of times. I dabbled in a few different things while I was in Atlanta. But then I reached a point where I was like, okay, screw Atlanta, I'm kind of done with it now. I'm kind of over it, what I'm saying? Because I saw another elevation. Like I say, I think I bored easily. Mm-hmm. So it's like I'm constantly looking for another level of stimulation. Mm-hmm. And I saw that, coming in Miami. I saw that Miami could probably give me that. So that's where I am now.
Gotcha. So now you're in Miami, the city of love and heat and the beach and everything. So now what's taking place in Miami since you've been there?
Well, this is one of the greatest things about Miami for me, is that it's a great jumping off point. Like as a kid, I used to like look at a globe. We had a globe at the house, and I would look at it, and then I would see, okay, where the United States was, then where Tennessee was, and then right there in the little corner of Tennessee was Memphis, which is where I was. But then you look at the globe and you see, okay, you got China over here, you got, you know, Russia over here, and you got, you know, all these Middle Eastern countries, and you got Africa around this big giant continent down here. And I started asking myself, okay, you know, why can't I go there? Or, you know, and my mom would always tell me that you can go there. You know, there's no reason that you can't go to all those places. And so I've always wanted to travel. I've always loved to travel. And Miami is a good spot to jump off from. So after moving down here, I love the diversity down here because you got a lot of people from different countries. A lot of them are Spanish-speaking countries, but there are a lot of different countries, Central American countries, South American countries. You got a lot of people from Europe over here, Eastern Europeans, whatnot over here. So it's like getting exposed to all those cultures, meeting those different people, and then you know, that kind of really started to pique my interest in jumping outside of the United States when it comes to travel. Because I've always traveled a lot inside of the United States, but, you know, prior I'd only been to Canada, Cancun, Bahamas, you know, the regular places that everybody goes to. But after moving down here, you know, I started meeting, you know, people from the Dominican Republic. I started meeting people from Cuba. I started meeting, you know, people from Colombia, from Brazil, from Venezuela. You meet people from all over, and you're like, okay, I like the vibes that these people are giving off, and I want to see this live and in person, you know, at the root. So, you know, I started traveling, man, and once that bug bites you, you cannot get away from it. I will say that. Every time I can take a trip, I take a trip. Every time I get on an airplane, I do. And I'm loving it. Right now, I got a trip planned. I got 2 trips planned next month. Beginning of the month, I'm going to Cuba for 9 days, and then coming home for a day, and then I'm going to Panama. Going back to Panama. I went to Panama last year, but I'm going back to Panama for a 5-day trip. So, you know, and every time I go to these different places, I like to shoot video. I like to talk to, you know, the regular people on the street, and you know, just really get a vibe, just really get a sense of what that place is like. And you start to learn how, you know, how everybody is connected, how we're all connected. Even though we speak different languages, or even though we were raised in different environments, we're all the same. I mean, we all want the best for our families. We all want to be happy. We all want to be healthy. Everybody wants the same thing worldwide. And, you know, I love trying new things. So, you know, traveling is my thing right now, man.
All right. So you named the Dominican, and you're about to go to Cuba and Panama. What are some of the other places that you've gone to?
Let's see, last year, I went to Cartagena, Colombia. I went to Costa Rica. I also went to Costa Rica. Costa Rica's real dope. I went to San Jose, and then I did a day in Jaco Beach in Costa Rica. Like I said, I did Dominican Republic. I first did that a couple years ago. I went to Rio, Brazil last year. It was around the same time of year. It's February last year. I went to Rio, Brazil. Loved it in Brazil. Loved it. Great country, great people. And then also I went to Panama last year. That was my last trip of the year. Because I always set a goal for myself at the beginning of the year. So last year I said, okay, it was an easy goal. I said I wanted to go to 4 different countries. So I went to those 4 countries. So started off in Brazil. So I went to Brazil, Costa Rica, Colombia, and Panama. So this year I got 5 of them planned for this year. So we're gonna see how they come together. I'm going to Panama again just because it was cheap. That's another thing. Yeah, I encourage everybody to search different websites and do the homework, because a lot of time you can fly cheaper outside of the country than you can within the country. I found a flight. The reason I'm going to Panama is because I found a flight there for $141 round trip. Wow. Like the last time I flew from Miami to Nashville, I had to go up there in January. Last time I flew up there, I paid $300 to fly from Miami to Nashville. Wow. But I can fly to Panama for $141. I mean, you can't beat that.
Right, exactly. Wow. So that's great. So basically, what we're saying is that in order for you to step outside of your comfort zone, you just have to put your feet out there and envision a life outside of the 4 walls or the 4 areas of your neighborhood, because you never know what's out there for you. So when the opportunity comes, take advantage of it. You know, like they always say, you only live once. So you want to make that opportunity. So, Frog, when you're traveling, are you going with a group of people or are you going by yourself?
I've done both. I've done both. I learned early not to let other people hinder your travel plans, because people will say, "Oh yeah, we're all going on this trip," and the next thing you know, it ends up being 2 of you, where it started off as 10. So I mean, I go on group trips, with groups of friends, and then I also go on like some solo trips. But I think that's one of the biggest lessons that I learned from being down here is that you need to surround yourself with people who are like-minded. And if you have dreams of doing big things, you need to surround yourself with people who are doing big things. So what I did is, the group of friends that I hang around the most are people who love to travel. So it's like a couple of my friends, a couple of my close homeboys, that I hang out with them all the time. Both of them are DJs, but right now they're in Dubai. Last week they were in, they do a little trip together. These two guys, they went to Ethiopia, they went to Tanzania, they went to Zanzibar. It's like they hit a lot of different places. So those people inspire me, and I in turn inspire them, because I'm going to Cuba. While they're going to be here, I'm going to be in Cuba. So they were telling me, we were texting each other when they were in Ethiopia. They were like, "Yo, man, I'm jealous of you going to Cuba." I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'm jealous of you. You're in freaking Ethiopia right now." But it's just like when you surround yourself with people that are like-minded, that are trying to achieve something, and you feed off of each other. As they say, steel sharpens steel. So you have to be around people that are like-minded. If you're around people that are just, sitting up talking and complaining, you'll find yourself complaining. But if you surround yourself with people who are go-getters, who are doers, who are willing to take a chance and willing to jump on a trip and go somewhere by themselves and try something different, then you'll find yourself more likely to do that. And also to any of the people that might be afraid to travel alone, one thing that I found was a great resource is there are so many travel groups, meaning like meetup groups. So there are a couple of like real dope Facebook groups that I belong to. One of them is called Black People Who Travel Passport Edition. These are black folks in America that love to travel to different places, and so you can post something on that and say, "Hey, I'm going to be in Panama next month from the 10th to the 14th. Is anybody going to be there?" And it might be 5 or 6 people that are there. So now you get to meet up with some people that are from the United States, that are not only from the United States, some black people from the United States. And these are people that you've got something in common with. These are people that you can have a conversation with if perhaps you don't speak Spanish, and everybody over there, where everybody else over there speaks Spanish. These are people that you can find common ground with and you can build with. So it's always about building your network. It's always about, kind of elevating from where you are right now. And I think that, that's one of the biggest tools that you can use is a lot of social media, a lot of online resources to find like-minded people and to be able to elevate with them and help bring them up at the same time.
Well, that's great information. He just gave you a great tool, Facebook, travel groups. So again, make that investment in yourself. Surround yourself with people who are like-minded, who want to get out and make that change and basically find something better in their life. Travel the world. That's a great opportunity to expose yourself to new cultures and give yourself an opportunity to really live life. So again, we want to thank DJ Frogie for his time, for his insight. And we'll be right back after these messages for more information from Black Men's Digest.